Okay, great. We are here at your home inspection. Say hi.
Hi, Miss Donna. So, as I'm sure you know, the way this works is that we go around, we take a look at everything. We take a bunch of pictures, and you don't have to memorize any of this. This is all going to be in a report that we're going to send you tonight. Every picture and everything I say is all going to be in there. And then after you get that and read through it, if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. Our number's on every page of that report.
Perfect.
So, we're just going to hit the highlights today. There's going to be a couple other things besides what's in here, but it's pretty self-explanatory, and this is the stuff I thought was worth talking about right now.
Good.
So this is the front of your beautiful home. We're going to get started up on the roof. Overall, the roof is in great shape. We do have just a couple spots where we've got some granule loss noted, but given the bird droppings here, I suspect that's probably from pigeons just pecking at it. We do have evidence of roof leaks, prior roof leaks. These aren't currently wet.
Barely see that up there, but you can see that.
So this is in the cabinets above the washer and dryer, and this is up in the attic. Now the roof does look newer.
Where above the attic is that?
That is roughly probably above the laundry room, dining room, kitchen area.
So that could be in the same thing.
It could be. And there's a couple other spots in the attic, but again, this looks like a newer roof, and it appears to be in great shape. So this may be from a prior leak, and that may be why the roof was replaced.
Yep, and the listing stated that the roof was done about 4 years ago. So
okay. And then you do have gutters on the home, which is awesome. We do have some granules noted in there. Now this is pretty typical in Arizona. We don't really get enough water to wash all those granules out. So you've had a new roof on there. The granules just kind of, there's always too much on top. That's supposed to be that way. And some of them run off. But we always want to make sure that we keep these things cleaned out so that they don't get clogged and the water can continue to run.
Okay, so one maintenance item would be make sure you have somebody hose out those gutters so that they're clear running.
Absolutely. That's typical homeowner maintenance. And then we do have one downspout that's disconnected, and we just want to get that put back in place so the water gets pushed away from the home and doesn't just fall down around the foundation.
And that's right at the back door by the back covered patio. I noted it as well.
So your AC unit is a 2013. It's working great. The way we test that is we test the temperature of the air as it goes into the unit and then the temperature of the air that comes back out. On the AC side, we're looking for somewhere between 18 and 22 degrees, and I was getting at least 23. So it's working wonderfully.
And I will say that the air conditioning is on and it's chilly.
And then your water heater is a 2016. Typical life expectancy on these, just like with the AC units, is about 10 to 15 years. It's working great. I've got hot water everywhere. The only note I would have with this is that when you're running hot water at multiple fixtures, the water pressure does reduce a little bit.
Okay, well, but that would be typical of a 1979 construction home as well.
And then this is the condensate drain under your HVAC unit on the roof. The condensate drain, we produce a lot of moisture as that thing's running, and it falls down into a pan, and then it runs out of this pipe, and then it runs out and down into the drains. The only note I have for you here is that this is supposed to have a little P-trap, which is that little loop like you'll see under a sink. So we're just supposed to have that little trap in there, and that's just a note. We always recommend getting that sort of issue resolved, but you should definitely get your AC unit serviced and then get on a regular maintenance routine. So this could be part of your first visit.
Good. Okay.
We've got just a little bit of fading paint around the eaves outside, and we just always recommend that you keep the paint maintained so that the materials don't prematurely wear. This is your main electrical panel. It's out back. Everything in there is fine, but we do have an additional box on the outside that kind of controls some of the grounds lighting. And there's evidence, excuse me, there's evidence of water having gotten into that box at some point. So I would definitely want to get that sealed up so no water gets in there because...
Is that moisture, that's in the extra box, not in the primary box?
Correct.
Okay.
That's in the extra box here. This is your Malibu low voltage lights. This is for the grounds. We just want to make sure that if there's no water getting in there because there are electrical components in there.
Great.
The door from the laundry room out to the rear yard, the handle is broken off.
Okay.
You have several outlets throughout the home that are just a little bit loose in the wall. When outlets are loose, when we're plugging things in and pulling them back out, they can kind of jiggle and we don't want the wires to come out. So we just always recommend tightening those down. This is a really easy fix. You just take the cover off, tighten 2 screws down, and then it should be secure. Both of the shower heads in the master and in the hall bath, they're just leaking a little bit at the connections. So that could just be those need to be unscrewed and we need to get some new plumber's tape wrapped around the threads.
Okay.
The toilets, both tanks are a little bit loose. We just want to get those tightened down because they can leak around the connection where the tank meets the bowl. And then we have
that's a fun picture.
Little bit of water damage under the sink. It's hard to find a sink in Arizona that hasn't leaked at one point or another. I was in a brand new house this morning, brand new flip, brand new everything. Nobody's lived in it, but there were water stains under the sinks because when those things get put in, sometimes they leak. Whoever's installing them fixes it, but doesn't wipe out the bottom, and you end up with a little bit of water spots.
So is that under the kitchen sink?
This is under the bathroom sink.
Okay.
We have just a couple of these little, almost pimples under the surface at both of the bathroom sinks. We do have a little bit under the kitchen sink.
Okay.
The hall bath, the drain.
That's a tub. That's a picture of a tub.
The drain in the bathtub is a little bit slow. I'm not worried about all of the drains in the home. You do have ABS plumbing, which is awesome. This, I can actually see hair down in the drain. So this just needs to have the drain cleared out. The one of the guest bedrooms, you have single pane windows in there, and you have 2 of them. You have one in front of the other.
There's two installations of windows.
Mm-hmm. And it's intentional. We have 2 single pane windows, one that comes down on the outside and one that comes down on the inside. The one that's on the outside in this guest bedroom, the balance has come out. So if we want to be able to operate that smoothly, we just need to be able to put that balance back in. The window on the inside does open and shut, so the home is secure. It's just...
So there's actually, because this is the only room that doesn't have, besides the laundry room, that doesn't have the windows replaced with the new windows. So what they did is at some point, they took 2 single pane windows and installed both so that there was more insulation. So with that room, she doesn't have just single pane, she's got 2 single pane windows.
Correct.
Okay, just want to make sure I explain that clearly for everybody.
Absolutely. And then this is above the microwave. It looks like the kitchen has been remodeled and it looks great, but we do just need to get these wires capped off and then just get a cover plate on this junction box.
Okay, and that's just a little cabinet above the microwave.
That's right.
Does the microwave vent out or does it vent?
It recirculates.
It recirculates, okay.
This is that water damage under the kitchen sink. Again, not currently leaking, just a little bit of damage under there.
So you just see like there's a little bit of bubbling, that little bit of moisture underneath the base.
And then this is the dishwasher drain, and this is the disposal under the sink.
I giggle at this, Donna, because everybody has this.
Every house. So this dishwasher drain is supposed to be looped. We call it a high loop. It's supposed to be looped above the kitchen drains. And the reason for that is if we fill the sink with water and then we drain it, when it goes down into the disposal, we don't want it to be able to rush back down here and then put a bunch of dirty water into your dishwasher and contaminate your dishes. Very, very few installations ever have the high loop, and that's because most modern dishwashers have an air gap built into the back of the dishwasher. But since I can't see the back of the dishwasher, I can't promise it's there. So we always make a note. This is a really easy fix. It's a 30-cent hook from Home Depot. You just put it up there and then you loop the drain up over it and then you're meeting the requirements.
It really is. It's just this gray line just droops, and all it needs to do is just be lifted up. And so it's even a command strip like will do it. It doesn't need much. But that's every single home inspection.
It is. So your ceiling fan in the laundry room, we have the wires, everything's capped off the way it's supposed to be, but this is supposed to be in a junction box. And then it is just a little bit loose as it runs.
Is that the junction box and it just hasn't been pushed up over it and secured so that it's clean? Is this mushroom cap, is that supposed to be pushed up?
If this mushroom cap were pushed up against the ceiling, we would have all of that hidden.
Great. So that mushroom cap is just fallen down and it's not
that seems likely, yes. Mm-hmm. And then in the laundry room, we are supposed to have a fan, just like in a bathroom, and we don't have one in here. This is a large room. Whether the humidity in this area is going to cause any damage to the paint or the walls is pretty questionable, but it is supposed to be there. And this is just a note. Your garage door opener is on this switch. So if this switch is turned off, this button will not work. I don't have the car-based clicker, so I don't know if it works if that switch is off, but I do know that this button does not work if that switch is off. Sometimes that can be a nuisance. And then this is just a picture of stuff. As a home inspector, I'm supposed to look at every square inch of the home. Obviously, there's still stuff here, so I can't see absolutely everywhere. So if the place gets emptied out, you get a chance to get in here, take a look around and see if there's anything that you noticed that we weren't able to catch because of the stuff.
Yep.
And that's all I have for you. This was a very nice looking home. You're in great shape. I'm not terribly worried about anything in particular. We're gonna get you that report tonight along with the termite report. You do have evidence of termites. So I would either I would just get with Irene. She'll handle it from there. Mm-hmm. So you'll get their report and you'll get our report. And then, like I said, every single page will have our phone number on it. And once you read through the whole thing, if you have any questions at all, just give us a call.
Fabulous. Thank you. Yay.